tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. Voices echo in darkness, where honesty dwells. Aaron drops knowledge, casting his spells. Feelings are fading, lost in the fray. If you can't handle it, step out of the way. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave it, your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave it, your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. So brace yourself tight, prepare for the quake. Aaron had to say it, the truth won't break. Yeah, the truth won't break.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. So we are going to start out as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys at the Weather Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the V-Raw Podcast, to Kate the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, and to George Fonts of the World of Blaze Podcast. Thank you guys for the continued support. It means the world to me. Yeah, that's the roll call. That's the rattle. These are the people who. I got nothing. I was trying to remember. I know there was a. What was it? These are the people in the neighborhood. Sorry, I'm apparently getting a little senile. I can't remember shit apparently these days. And I just remembered I forgot to start the fucking recording again. Yep, real professional podcasting here. So we're going to do the intro over again. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. So we're going to start out as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morty, to the guys from the Weather Report, to Billy G from the Walt. Billy G from the. Fuck me. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. So to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys from the Weather Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the B-Raw Podcast, to Kate the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, and to George Fonts. Thank you guys for the continued support. I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, so that wasn't as terrible as I thought it could be. Thank you, Josh. Yes, I pushed record. I got it going. It's been a long day. I'm a little under the weather. And there goes Shauna referencing the thing I was talking about. These are the people in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. Yes, that's the one I meant, babe. Thanks. And just for reference, I don't call any random ass people babe. That's a very special random ass person that gets called babe. Just in case anybody's wondering. But anyway, so, yeah, it is Monday, October 20th. Oof. Sorry, I got to get situated here. Been kind of a rough couple of days, the last few days. A little under the weather, a little grumpy, a little tired. Little frustrated with putting up with dumb motherfuckers in the world. That's probably the biggest takeaway. That's probably going to be the main focus of what I have to say today is going to be the stupidity of motherfuckers. There's a plethora of stupid motherfuckers in this world, as we all well know. And as usual, I have thoughts about the matter. In case anybody's wondering why I have a hat on today, I mean, I've said it before, just in case you're new here. I wear a hat because sometimes I get a lot of glare off my head, and today I actually have like a little seam in my forehead because I banged the shit out of my head about 30 seconds before I started this broadcast with my glasses on because I forgot my glasses were on top of my head instead of on my face. So I whanged them real good into my dome, and it left a crease. And I didn't want to start the show with you guys going, "What's with the crease in Aaron's fucking head?" Apparently Aaron's now a head dent. So yeah. So anyway, biggest thing, the thing that's probably the most obvious to everybody, is the No Kings protest was this weekend. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm taking these headphones off because, as I've said in the past, I only actually need the headphones when I am doing something that involves listening to audio coming through the computer. And when I'm talking to myself, I'm not doing that. I'm watching the chat in the little window here for Restream, and I've got the Zoom chat open on the other one, just on the off chance anybody decides to hop into the Zoom chat. If you want access to the Zoom chat, you can sign up for I Had to Say It on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee and be one of the supporters of the show. And then you get to hear your name at the beginning of every episode, at least until we actually get, God forbid this show ever takes off and it gets to the point where there's too many names to read. I mean, that would be a good problem to have, but at the same time, I don't see it happening anytime soon. But yeah, that's one of the little perks is you get access to the Zoom chats if you become a supporter of the show, and then you can come in and be distracting and irritate me. And for the first few episodes of the live stream, I actually had it open to everybody, but then I decided there actually needs to be some sort of perk for people that, pay to be supporters of the show, and that could be one of them. So if you want access to the Zoom chat, you have to be a member, and then you're on the Discord server, and the link gets posted there, and then you can go to the link and say, hey, I'm going to hop into the chat and try and distract Aaron, and Aaron will probably forget to have everybody set up to auto mute when they join the fucking conversation. So I'll probably be able to completely derail the show and let people in the live stream hear what I have to say before Aaron realizes he needs to mute me. And if it's funny enough, he might actually let me talk and be part of the show. I mean, I'm working on getting some more guests booked. Actually got way out of my fucking comfort zone and went and approached some people I thought would make good guests for the show. And I may be shooting away. Actually, there's no maybe about it. Because people that, I'm friendly with, people that my fellow indie podcasters, my small timers, my peeps, half the names I just mentioned in the opening roll of this show, I don't worry about getting them to come on the show. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of them I consider my friends at this point, and they would come on if I asked them. And I don't really see that as being a problem. I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a good thing. It's cool that I've built a community up of people that I'm comfortable talking to that would actually be willing to come in and spend some time shooting the shit with me. I say all that to say this, again, stealing Jamingo's line, that I just don't want to keep having conversations with people that I've already talked to. And it's nothing against you guys. I'll talk to you guys anytime you want. You know that. But I would like to start branching out and bringing a little more to the show by bringing in people that are not the norm. They're not necessarily going to be people. I mean, the people I'm going after right now are more people I want to talk to. I've been approached by a few people that I don't really have any interest in talking to, but I'm probably going to bring them on just to get some variety and get some flavor in the show. There's a couple, I got approached by a couple people that are, allegedly, I don't know, again, makes me feel kind of questionable about certain things, but allegedly people that are part of the current Trump administration. Not that I'm necessarily the biggest fan of the Cheetos, everyone knows. But, when somebody reaches out to you, sometimes you listen. Oh, that ain't what I was expecting in that glass. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked. But yeah, I've got theoretically the White House faith advisor, booking agent reached out to me, and I told them I'll get back to you. A couple former Democrat political figures have reached out to me, like currently no longer active in government, but former, a former senator and I think former state senator from California, and a former national senator, I believe from It was somewhere on the East Coast. I forget. It was an East Coast Democrat, which is not necessarily my particular people, but fuck it, I'll talk to anybody at least for a few minutes. And so I told them I was putting a pin in guests for a brief period, but I would reach out to them when I was ready to open the doors back up. And after this weekend, I should actually theoretically, at least for a couple months, have a little more wiggle room in my schedule where I can start booking things, at least November, December-ish, and then we'll see what the new year brings. But, man, that's a really long roundabout spiel to try and talk people into signing up to be a patron or buy me a coffee or whatever. Also, I did do a little retooling on the website, just to make the merch link to Horrible Designs a little easier to find, so you guys can go buy some. I had to say it, merch if you want. I understand if you don't want to. I'm not judging. I'm not being pissy about it. I wouldn't really fucking blame you if I'm being completely honest. I mean, the merch itself, the quality is phenomenal. Jason does a fantastic job with making the stuff. Yeah, the designs are all me, so you can, be mad about that. They're not great. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm a chef, god damn it. Cut me some slack. I'm trying here. I can't afford. Well, maybe I should go on Fiverr and find some fucking Indian kid to make some artwork for me or something for like $8. But again, that's behind the scenes stuff. That's just for you. That's how the process works. But anyway, yeah. So biggest thing realistically that I want to talk about, and I've been kind of. I had to go to work today and was not necessarily, able to spend as much time. Again, show prep and other things kind of gets deprioritized, especially when I'm on the clock. And excuse me, so I'm feeling a little under the weather too. Just to put that out there, a little bit of a headache, just a little run down, a little tired. Tweaked my back this morning and not feeling great, so didn't spend as much time trolling for the weekend's news. Hey, Billy, welcome to the chat. Damn it, Billy! Now I got sidetracked again. Anyway, glad you're here, brother. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, didn't really spend as much time like on social media seeing about the after effects. I did some yesterday, but looking at the No Kings March, No Kings Volume 2, whatever the fuck we're calling it, retard boogaloo. It's fucking stupid, and it's I was opposed to it before it all happened. I was like, this is fucking retarded. This is all they've got. This is, no kings. Trump's trying to be a dictator. Trump's trying to be this. Trump, by enforcing existing laws on the books, they somehow assume this guy's going to take away all their rights and he's going to be a dictator. And literally, it happened in, like, the protests were going on all over the fucking country. Okay, great. As soon as it's done, you get all the usual yammering leftist retards. You got Bernie coming out of the woodwork like his decrepit, ancient, petty ass has any input in the matter. Talking about how it's the most successful national protest ever, and it's 7 million people strong, and it's showing that America is not here for blah, 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 blah. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't believe the numbers that were released. And every leftist retard that rose to the bait of anything I said, because I did make a couple posts on X, a couple comments on Bernie and on Pritzker and on Brandon Johnson in Chicago, the worthless fucking commie mayor whose fiscally illiterate retardancy is probably going to be seeing my taxes go up this year, because right now they are proposing several tax measures to help bail out the CTU shortcomings. Or I'm sorry, no, the CTU got paid. It's not the Chicago Teachers Union, the Chicago Transit Union, who is going to be getting bailed out by the state of Illinois, paying off that poorly managed, inept fucking city run by a fucking communist milk dud headed motherfucker who's an absolute retard. And every time he opens his mouth, he just proves it, validates the hate that so many fucking people have for him. But so, yeah, I made a couple comments, triggered a bunch of lefty retards. They're like, oh, well, you're just a MAGA, did it? And without fail, talk their shit. I call them out, say, so what you're telling me is, and particularly one interaction stuck with me, because the guy's like, well, you're obviously a moron because you're in your own information bubble and you only believe, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, So you're telling me I'm a moron because I believe my information sources as opposed to not believing your information sources, but that makes you smart and me stupid. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, exactly. Admitting you're stupid is the first problem. I said, right, I'm the fucking idiot. I said, meanwhile, your sources that you cited have been politicians and news outlets that have been repeatedly proven to be full of shit over the last couple to 5 years of instance after instance after instance where everything they said has been untrustworthy, but this time they're not lying to you. And the guy was just like, yeah, whatever. And then he blocked me. So fuck him. But, and that's usually the reaction. As soon as you start pointing out actual logical flaws, they can't have discourse. They can't back up their positions. And, you know, I did see a few videos of people that were out at the No Kings protests, not really counter protesting, but kind of just fucking with people, which I absolutely loved. I mean, young people, old people, middle-aged people, people my age out there with, some of them were out there wearing signs. Some of them were driving around with Charlie Kirk flags. Some of them were, you know, just out asking questions like man on the street interview style, trying to get people to explain why they were there. You couldn't find a coherent, cognizant answer out of the entire fucking mess. Not just in Chicago, but every one of these fucking protests. And, you know, oh, well, we're fed up and people this and people that. There was nothing organic about these protests. They were funded. They have sponsorship flyers. And all of them were actually sponsored by the American Communist Party, which should tell you everything you need to know about this bullshit. But even then, you point that out and they're fucking leftist retards. Oh, no, they're not. We're not communists. We just believe that everybody should have whatever they want without having to work for it because that's fair because billionaires are bad. You fucking retards. And they were pretty bad. And, yeah, I hate them and they suck. And it was, you know, same thing, you know, New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Memphis, a couple in Florida that I saw. The one in Chicago, I will give them credit. They were saying it was a big turnout. There were literally tens of thousands of motherfuckers at this protest. Do I think it was in the numbers nearly where they were saying it was? No, it wasn't, because I know the area where the protest was. I know how full it gets. It's where they have like Lollapalooza. It's where Obama had his last big rally. Obama's last big rally was like 80,000 people in that same park. They're trying to say there were 125,000 people at the No Kings rally, and I find it really hard to believe that the left's golden child could have gotten a better turnout than the, you know, or it could have gotten a worse turnout than this fucking horseshit Soros-funded, organized fucking retardedry. And again, the people who are trying to say, oh, well, this is a grassroots thing, it's a case of people that are out here, and it's just because the people are fed up. The people have had it. The people don't want to deal with this. The people. You know, the standard commie horseshit color revolution bullshit talking points. And this, at this point, they've started leaning into it. It's a color revolution. Wear yellow to show your solidarity to oppose the kings. Well, no, you motherfucker. That's the same thing that China did, except for it was wear red to you know, to show your solidarity against the fucking emperor. And we all saw how that fucking ended. So the ones that are trying to deny it at this point are in a very huge state of denial of reality, which, you know, should come as a surprise to fucking nobody. But at the end of the day, the things that gets me is every retard that's out there trying to act like this is organic and oh, it's not a paid protest. I've saw so many people and so many posts today. Oh, well, nobody was paid to be there that I talked to. Everybody was there because, first off, of course they're not going to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm getting paid to be here. But at the same time, you get these massive armies of retards being given their protest materials, being given scripted chants, being given gigantic fucking props. There was a 40-foot by 80-foot fucking Declaration of Independence that they used as a stage prop to have a bunch of morons dressed up as, you know, kind of ICE agents, but it said lice on it instead of ICE, because that's so fucking clever, lefties. Haha, good one. You really got them on that. And they had some retard smacking ICE agents that was dressed up like Uncle Sam on a giant thing that said "We the People" as a giant preamble. This fucking giant theater piece is bigger than my fucking house. And you're telling me these leftist barista motherfuckers somehow just organically got the money together for that? That it's not a paid protest. Yeah, non-paid, non-sponsored, non-functional things. It was just a bunch of people got together, came up with this brilliant idea all on their own, all on their onesies, somehow pooled together their fucking tips for fucking up mocha lattes all week and bought what was probably a $20,000 prop. And they rented U-Hauls to distribute signs and banners and flags. And, you know, despite the fact that all of these leftist retards have tried to embrace a new narrative that they're the real patriots and they're the actual Americans, and anybody that supports Trump is a fascist and you're un-American if you support enforcing the laws that are on the fucking books. You're an un-American piece of shit. If you think that, you know, any traditional values should still hold true, you're un-American. The real patriots are the fucking purple-haired baristas that think everything should be free, and the fact that they failed as tree number 3 in fucking 3rd grade is still somehow... like I said, it's all performative nonsense. You get these retarded old hippies that are fucking trying to embrace some last scrap of fucking relevancy that are out there dancing and chanting, and there was like fucking drum lines and fucking coordinated little fucking 2-step white people hokey pokey motherfucking looking shit of all these fucking geriatric Caucasian retards. Pretty much the only actual, like, let's just say taking Chicago for example, prime case of these motherfuckers ain't from here, and the ones that are from here ain't from the problem areas. They aren't from the areas that are directly impacted by the fucking illegals. They're the ones that are complaining that there's nobody left to clean their fucking toilets. Because these protests, you look at it, pretty much any footage, way lily fucking white. Not a lot of black people, not a lot of fucking people of Latin descent or whatever the appropriate fucking term is now. That's right. I don't do PC and I don't fucking care. No Latinos, no fucking black people. Or very minimal, you know, not nearly proportionally representative to what that crowd should be if it was actually citizens of that city showing up to be pissed off. Particularly in the case of the No Kings protests around the greater Chicagoland area. And, you know, it's not like they were all-day events. They all buttoned up by like fucking 2 o'clock because, you know, the conspiracy theory is that's when the checks run out. But if you look at how a lot of them are set up, they're staggered. So they were actually busing people from protest to protest to protest. They went from Joliet to Naperville to fucking Chicago for the big show. And it was the same bunch of geriatric fucks at all these different locations trying to increase the ground presence so they could say it was this massive protest. And there are people out there that have been doing this since 2023, trying to track people for the different conventions, saying that, you know, people that were at these different riots were, you know, through cell phone data tracking, they were tracking all of these assholes that were, you know, the usual suspects that were all at all of these fucking instances where violence broke out or where things went sideways or whatever. You know, all the people at the Kamala fucking rallies that showed she was busing the same motherfuckers from site to site to fucking site. Same tactics still apply. There are still people out there releasing the geotag data, releasing the fucking data that shows it was the same motherfuckers moving from place to place to place to create this fucking inauthentic crowd. And, you know, the fact that this information exists, the fact that it's public fucking information and these morons still want to try and deny it. And you get, you know, like I said, Bernie Sanders trying to talk about how it's the most effective and largest protest ever and da-da-da. Well, I wouldn't... Largest? Sure, I'll give you that one. Why not? Let's not talk about the fucking mob mentality that's taken over most of Europe for the last couple of years. But effective? I mean, maybe up to interpretation. It's effective in the effect that America still does not have a king. In terms of overturning the current administration, ousting Donald Trump, making them stop and cave and give in to all the retarded leftist demands... effective isn't really the word I would fucking use because they woke up Monday morning and Donald Trump was still the president. He's out there doing Donald Trump shit every day, trolling him, talking shit, running his fucking yap. And, you know, of course, since I want to call out the leftists for being disingenuous pieces of shit, the leftist retard apologists on social media, you know, oh, well, you're a maggot. You Trump-ass slickers. Not understanding they're talking Donald Trump fanboy. I will give him credit when he does something good. I will call him out when he does something I think is fucking retarded. That's the difference. These morons don't possess the mental capacity to understand you cannot be on one team or the fucking other. Fucking this tribalistic, retarded mentality is just, it's infected so much of this population where it's like, oh, well, you either got to be this or that. You can't be somebody else. You can't be in the middle. You have to pick a fucking team because if you're not on a team, you're da, 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 da. And no, you're a bunch of fucking cretins. And it's how we get people like, and this is something I had take issue with on the right, and it's come up pretty significantly recently in here. And as much as I love watching the left eat their own because they're honestly the bigger scum fucks in my opinion, it's slightly edifying when the right does it. My problem with the right doing is the people they're eating of their own. It's not because they're not idealistically pure enough to be horrible fucking human beings. It's because they're closer to things I actually believe in and more in the center, and they believe that certain things need to be getting taken care of, and not taking care of those items simply despite the lefties is a disservice to the American population. And I'm actually feeling sympathy for people I normally wouldn't. Like, we got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's not somebody I'm a huge fucking fan of. I mean, some things she says I like, a lot of stuff she says not so much, but she's saying things that are actually accurate, like, we need to get back to work for the people because they're still paying their fucking taxes, and right now they don't have any representation, which is accurate. Things I don't like that the right does is, telling her she needs to toe the line and do what she's told, because she's saying, why are we taxing these people when we're not doing our fucking jobs? Good argument. And then she's in favor of healthcare reform. I'm a huge fan of healthcare reform. And every leftist retard that's out there talking about how they're trying to kick 15 million people off their health insurance and everybody's premiums are going to skyrocket. Everyone's premiums are going to skyrocket because you forced the ACA through under Obama. The ACA is an unsustainable piece of legislation that cannot exist without massive government subsidies, and it completely hamstrung the competitive market for insurance. That's on you, motherfuckers. If a program can't exist without federal subsidies, it shouldn't fucking exist. Period. You can't mandate that people have to spend money on something, and the only way it can be affordable for them is if it's subsidized through huge tax markups. It's not a good look. And it's utterly fucking ridiculous. And people are dragging her for saying shit like that too. And saying we need to reform healthcare is not a leftist fucking tactic. Saying we need to keep the ACA in place and that's the only way that things are going to fucking work, that's retarded. Which kind of coalesces with the leftist shit. But that being said, I take a lot of issue with a lot of things. And like, when we get all these, as much as I talk about the leftist yammering retards that come at me with, oh my God, you're a this, you're a that, you must be a maggot, you must be a Trump lover, you must love the taste of Cheeto dust in your mouth when you're sucking Donnie's dick. Actually, okay, nobody's ever said that last one. I said that to somebody. Full disclosure, that's an Aaron statement. I did tell somebody to get Donnie's Cheeto dusted cock out of their mouth over something he said a while back. And it just kind of popped back into my mind. So, yeah, that one's on me. I apologize. You guys deserve better than me misrepresenting. Billy, I don't know if it's cutting in and out for anybody else. It could be my mic technique here as I'm moving my head around. I hope not. Anybody else in the chat want to pipe in? Is it cutting in and out? Is it a problem I need to address? I mean, the local audio always gets saved, except for the one time where I completely forgot to do the fucking audio. But I remembered to start the recording thanks to a couple little prompts. So, anyway, if the audio is shit, I apologize. The audio only version will be better, and hopefully the YouTube version will at least be bearable. Anyway, now where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, Trump's Cheeto dusted cock. Anyway, so yeah, it's these things that drive me nuts. And when we have like people that I hate the fact that we've got so many of these fucking people that are out there bashing one of the few people in Congress I actually respect, which is Thomas Massie. I mean, I don't agree with everything he does. I don't agree with the way he votes all the time. I don't agree with some of the stuff he did during the Biden administration, but he's consistent. He's the most relevant constitutionalist this country has seen since Ron Paul. Sorry, my brain not working so good sometime. And Then we've got Trump bad-mouthing him, talking about he needs to be primary. They got all, and as soon as the golden Jesus says it, every motherfucking smooth-brain right-wing asshole, oh my God, he's bad. He's got to go. Massey bad. He's a closet Democrat. He votes more with Biden than he does with Trump. If you actually look at the fucking numbers, that's not even close to true. Massey voted with Biden's administration something like 42% of the time. His voting record standing with Trump-backed ideas is 79 fucking percent. It's not me, kissing his ass. It's not me thinking he's stellar or anything. It's a fucking verifiable fact. You bring these matters up, you're going to get dragged. You're going to get called all kinds of fucking retarded names. You're going to be told you're a fucking idiot by a bunch of people who probably have the collective IQ of a fucking peach. And I'm saying that as I'm saying, yes, certain facets of both sides of the political party are functional fucking retards. Left, right, I don't care. If you think your leader cannot be questioned, you're a fucking idiot. If you think that your party's ideals are right 24/7, 100% of the fucking time, politicians, if they're on your side, if they got your letter after their last name, they're not out to fuck you over and do better for them than you're a fucking idiot. If you think most of these people have principles, as long as they have the right letter after their fucking name and they're not in it for themselves and they're not going to sell you out at the drop of a fucking hat, you're a fucking idiot. And now, honestly, at the end of the day, again, tying back to the No Kings rally and the government shutdown and everything else, I said last week that the popular theory was that the government shutdown will end after the No Kings rally. I've already heard tentative rumblings that it's going to be coming to a conclusion sometime this week because the leftist strong-arm part of the party, the ones who are ideologically the purest, the ones who are the future of the Democrat Party, the morons holding the reins as that fucking donkey cart heads towards the cliff. That's kind of their compromise, as I understand it, because like Schumer said in his desperate attempt to stay relevant, that the longer the shutdown lasts, the better it is for their side, which is really not nearly as true as they seem to think it is. And there's going to be some consequences if it lasts much longer that they cannot afford to have happen. Partly because a lot of people that are their base, the people they are dependent upon, are still hearing the facts and not just taking their word for it anymore, because they're not just going to CNN for their information. And like it or not, they're hearing things that the left doesn't want them to hear. Like the things that the Senate, the Republicans don't control it well enough to force the bill through without some Dems crossing the aisle, which is what's probably going to happen this week. The more moderate Dems will probably be allowed by the party to fucking, quietly, without much fanfare, go across the aisle. They'll have to lie and say there was some sort of compromise reached, but realistically, the Republicans are really not in a position where they need to compromise, because at the end of the day, compromise involves both sides giving up some shit and neither side being happy with the results. And the left is absolutely refusing to do that at this point. They're holding on to fucking demands that are completely outlandish. Part of that may have been to give them something to cut when it was time to go to the table, so they can say, well, yeah, we're not spending $300 million on fucking gender reassignment surgeries in Mozambique anymore, but that's okay because we still got, social medicine for our fucking illegals and I don't know, whatever the other fucking stupid shit they're not going to bend on hanging around. And, at this point, we've even got Republican representatives saying, like, yeah, we'll come to the table and we'll discuss things about this ACA, but we're not going to do it at the barrel of a gun. You're going to pass this before we will consider discussing anything with you. Now, the only real accurate answer is throw the ACA out, but, they're not ready for that conversation. Whew, apple cider vinegar. That's what that is. Well, let's see. Down in the chat, Billy G, that did the trick. Okay, well, that's good, Billy. I'm glad that I'm not cutting out for you anymore. So, yeah, now anything that's wrong is actually just the way I fucking sound. So anyway, yeah, so they're gonna probably quietly come to the table this week sometime, and there's a couple of reasons behind that. First of which being the appropriations and the spending in the budget for like Section 8 and EBT and all this other shit. It's gone. It's the money runs out. I think EBT already started running out like this month. Section 8 is paid through like the first week of November or second week of November. If the shutdown lasts another week or two, it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers ain't going to be getting paid. And I don't give a shit about the fucking degenerate parasites getting paid. I'm talking about the people who own the properties that are dependent on that Section 8 income to house their fucking parasites. Now, me being me, I'm going to get up on my soapbox here for a couple minutes and address something. I'm not super sympathetic about the landlords who are going to be losing income because their Section 8 housing residents will not be paying them, obviously, because they don't have any fucking money. Because I view that as if you were treating that as an investment and your strategy was to build an investment off of a system that encourages parasites and government spending and taxation of people who are not receiving a service to pay for that service, you kind of fall under that parasite category in my mind. I understand being a landlord, being a property owner is a business, and sometimes you have to do what you have to do to make ends meet. Maybe you didn't want to take Section 8 housing, but you did take Section 8 housing. So when you took Caesar's silver, you fucking had to fucking know what comes with that. So my sympathy for those people is very fucking tempered. And because there's better business models in this world than sucking at the government teat. And that's how I see Section 8 renters as well as Section 8 property owners. You take that chance. And, considering these things were supposed to be helping hands and supposed to be temporary programs that an entire couple of generations have turned into a fucking lifestyle with no aspirations to get off of fucking welfare, with no aspirations to get out of public fucking housing, with no aspirations of getting out of their Section 8 and living like a fucking contributing member of society should. I don't feel bad. I really don't. And, the landlords are going to have to fight to evict these motherfuckers that are not paying their Section 8. There's a really good chance that a huge percentage of these Section 8 housing complexes are in liberal run areas, so they're not going to be able to fucking get any reinforcement from the legal system to get these fucking parasites out of their properties. Their hands are going to be severely tied. If they try doing things like shutting off the utilities to drive these fucking squatters out, they're going to be subject to fines and penalties because, again, liberal judges, liberal legal system, they're going to throw the book at you for trying to maintain your property at the expense of a freeloading sack of shit parasite. So, and they're going to do it all with the self-important smugness of people who think they're somehow morally superior because they're taking from someone else to give to someone else. They consider it very humane and very, very pious of them to use other people's money to provide aid to people without actually costing themselves anything in the process. And I hate them all. I hate the entire system. I hate that it exists. I hate that people are out there capitalizing on it every fucking chance they get. I hate that we've built an entire culture around this shit. I hate that there are fucking TikTok retards out there who are bragging about their fucking public aid every fucking time it comes up. Every time it becomes a hot button topic, you'll see 10 million fucking TikTok videos or reels or whatever your particular social media poison happens to be, of retards celebrating the fact that they are shiftless, non-contributory fucks. And a lot of these assholes get so many views that they're actually making money off of their social media that I guarantee they're not reporting to the government, because if they were, they'd lose their benefits. That's the only silver lining, as far as I'm concerned, to any of this shit is so many of these fucking self-important, brain-dead, parasitic retards film themselves capitalizing on this shit. It became a trend. It became something that was like the hot thing to do, was show yourself, show your grocery cart, show your EBT receipts, document what a piece of shit you are on the public dole, on living off of other people's dimes, and then brag about it. Don't be humble. Don't be appreciative. Don't act like you're sorry about having to be a fucking tick. Act like the world owes you a living and you're getting over on whoever it is you think wronged you in your fucking previous life by sucking at the teat of the fucking government and being a freeloading piece of shit. And a lot of those people are having it bite them in the ass. When that's a good point, Josh. I'm not sure what cell phone plan gives you the front of the seat car bragging. I don't know. Okay, side tangent here. Yeah, Billy, actually, I've seen lots of those people saying taxpayers should be paying for our kids' food. Some of them were actually just people trolling. They don't actually believe that. I saw one that was great because this lady went on for like 3 solid minutes talking about how taxpayers are obligated to raise her kids. They're obligated to make sure her kids have and she went on for like almost 3 full minutes, and then was like, can you imagine if I actually believed that shit? Then I'd be as worthless as every liberal brain dead fuck out there. And then she ended the video. I was like, that's amazing. Good for her. And she sold that shit too. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing TikTok influencers that have 250,000 followers bitching about losing their EBT at the end of the month. Bitching that how am I supposed to get groceries? You go out and you get a job, you worthless motherfucker. That's how you get groceries. Just like the people who are paying for your fucking EBT through their taxes. I mean, I've said it a million times in different contexts about suicidal empathy. And unfortunately, in this particular case, it's not a suicidal empathy, but it's almost a homicidal empathy held by these leftist retards in positions of authority. I know it's, in a lot of ways, it's a manipulation tactic. It's how you buy votes from brain dead, incompetent, non-contributory pieces of shit, is by telling them you're going to take care of them. You're going to make sure they're okay. You're going to make sure that they've got enough food to eat and a place to live and a roof over their heads. And you're going to make sure their kids turn out a certain way. And you're going to do this and you're going to do that. This nanny state bullshit, with that mentality that would make the founding fathers sick if they heard it. And, you know, I'm not saying necessarily those guys were fucking saints either. They definitely weren't. They were a bunch of alcoholic, hard-fighting, hard-living motherfuckers. But they were workers. They didn't just, they were slave owners. You know what? Fuck you. They were using the tools that were available at their time. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. There was a specific individual highlighted from our own personal lives, a story from Aaron's personal life. There is someone that we knew, or well, technically, I guess we still know him, even though we haven't spoken to him in years. It was a kid that was friends with our son, and you know, due to the boys being friends and spending a lot of time together, we got to know his parents, as one tends to do. I mean, didn't have a lot of communication with the dad, but, you know, the mom was a little more friendly, a little more vocal, probably had kind of a, you know, fucked up home life and, you know, heard a lot of rumors, heard a lot of things from the kids were talking and shit like that. But end of the day, and I'm sure things have changed a little bit, but they were basically running a scam on the government that technically wasn't fully a scam, because the state of Illinois did away with common law marriages, and they never got married. They had 3 kids together. The dad, for lack of a better way of putting it, made pretty solid fucking money at his job, and actually owned a couple of properties that he was doing rental properties out of. I found out later on down the line. Mom, stay-at-home mom, no income, never got married. So they got public aid. They got a housing subsidy. Because she was a single mother of 3 kids. She had 3 kids that were all on Medicaid. They received food stamps every month, so they didn't pay for groceries. They had their housing payments subsidized because her name was on the paperwork for the house, but he was paying all the bills with his actual income, but not actually paying all the bills. That's how he was actually able to have all the toys that they had. You know, brand new truck, speedboat, fishing boat, jet ski, motorcycle. The kids all had all the toys they could possibly fucking have. House back in the early 2000s was $380,000. It's probably over $500,000 now, just with the way that the property values have gone up around here since we were young. At the end of the day, you know, literally, this woman said to my wife, "Why are you guys getting married? If you don't get married, you could do this, 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 and this." And didn't see the slightest problem with gaming the system to get all this shit again on the taxpayer dime. So her, life partner, whatever you want to call the fucking guy she was fucking, didn't have to come out of pocket. He didn't have to insure the kids. They were all on public aid. Didn't have to fucking, I don't believe he was even on the fucking birth certificate officially. I could be wrong on that one, but there was some reason where he wasn't getting hit with child support. She was just getting public aid on everything. And it's ridiculous. It's retarded. And it's more common than you'd think. I mean, and it creates shitty people. I mean, shitty people do those kinds of things. It creates shitty kids because they have kids that think this is normal. And when you have a kid that wants to brag about how much better their life is than the people who are actually working for shit, when they're young, you can't be mad at them because they don't really understand that mom and dad are committing fucking welfare fraud. And when it's somebody that your kid's friends with, you don't want to fucking ruin your kid's friend's life because that's your kid's friend and you have a certain degree of empathy for them because they're at your house all the fucking time. But yeah, there's a lot of scumfuck parasite people out there, and they're not all fucking urban hood rat motherfuckers that are living in the ghetto and staying in the fucking projects and all this other shit. There are plenty of nice neighborhoods with scumfuck people in it too that are doing these horrible fucking fraudulent acts, but they're smart enough not to be real fucking public about it. And yeah, that's right, hon. Dude was a overland long haul trucker. He was never there. He was out on the road all the time. She'd have all the girls over, get all wine drunk, and hang out with the kids and all kinds of dumb shit. And just like I said, not the kind of people I necessarily would be like, hey, we should be friends. Beyond just my own personal moral distaste for people like that. And again, it comes back to, yeah, the system's there. It's fucking everybody. Some people will say, well, why not take advantage of the system since the system's fucking everybody anyway? But I've said this so many times over the course of things where I'm criticizing the inaction or the refusal to do things from the right, where they're trying to claim some kind of fucking moral high ground, which when you're talking about politicians and political parties trying to claim the moral high ground at the expense of fucking watching your country go to shit, it's not really the same thing as saying, well, I don't want to be contributory to the reason the country is going to shit. Saying, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to use dirty tactics. I'm not going to resort to calling names because that would make me as bad as them. No, motherfucker, that's realizing you're in a fight and you do what you have to do to win the fight. Sitting there saying, oh, well, I'm better than that, it's not helping while they're beating your fucking ass. That's still going to get you shoved in a fucking, that's still going to get you shoved in a fucking locker in the gym. There's a time and a place for moral superiority, and when you're in a fight, ain't fucking it. How's the saying go? If you get in a fight, you better fight like you're the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark and it's starting to fucking rain. Yeah, it's not an inaccurate sentiment. But wow, this is really really off the track. What the fuck was I talking about before I started talking about all this other shit? Well, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Yeah, so we got all these retards out here posting. I've seen lots of, well, I shouldn't say lots because, again, I have a limited amount of time to be dicking around on social media today. Saw multiple videos, though, of retards bitching that they're losing their EBT. Motherfuckers talking about, well, if they cut off my food stamps, we're just going to have to steal Thanksgiving dinner. Or you could get a fucking job. Kind of like I said before. Oh, well, how am I supposed to feed my kids? You get a job, you lazy cunt. How am I supposed to, what are we supposed to do for Thanksgiving? You get a fucking job. There was a time where this didn't need to be explained to everybody and their fucking cousin. You want something, you fucking go out and earn it. Nobody owes you a goddamn thing. And pretty much it's like clockwork. We got what's her name? Black Uncle Fester. Ariana Presley, the fucking bitch in Congress. Once again has brought up reparations. People who were never slaves should get money from people who never owned slaves because reasons. It's fucking retarded. And yeah, this is just absolutely at the end of the day, I find the entitlement the most disgusting thing about all of it. But the thing that really got stuck in my craw, the thing that really made me get pissy about this whole situation was the fact that a lot of the rhetoric has tried to shift again, and I'm coming back to this because this is where my brain's kind of been, it's a fucking Rottweiler with a baby. It's what my brain is fucked up on, and it's the idea that these motherfuckers are trying to repaint themselves as the patriots. Oh, well, we're the real patriots in America because we want shit we didn't earn. We think people that have no business coming here because they can't be asked to do it the right way have some sort of inherent right to be here, lowering actual wages because we don't want to work, so we need all these fucking third world motherfuckers to come into our country to do the shit jobs that nobody wants to do. Because if you'll notice, the primary people bitching about the labor force being shrunk are the fucking elitist, self-important, six-figure having worthless sacks of fuck and the brain-dead fuck puppets that they live with that are out there. Oh, well, who's going to clean your toilets, Republicans? The same people who were cleaning them before we deported the illegals. Us. Because your average middle-class working motherfucker doesn't have a nanny, doesn't have a fucking service, doesn't have some foreigner they're paying to raise their fucking kids $6 an hour because they're here illegally and you got no goddamn well it is, and you want to paint yourself like this pious motherfucker because you're giving some poor shit upon third world asshole an opportunity to make a better lives for themselves with your $6 fucking an hour. You self-important sack of shit, so you can go out, get wine drunk in the middle of the day and fuck your fucking tennis coach because at the end of the day, you're completely detached from your kids. You're an irresponsible human being. You're a failure as a parent. You're a failure as a person. You're a failure as an American citizen because you think you're the patriots because, oh my God, we're helping the poor shit upon people. And those are the ideals this country was founded upon, is making sure everybody has an opportunity. And we're giving them these opportunities to come into our countries and clean our toilets and do all the jobs that we can't do for ourselves. Meanwhile, the people that are actually paying the bill on this shit, the middle-class working people who can't find jobs because they've got some fucking low-skill, low-wage, non-documented sack of shit that's being hired in by some big, it's, oh, we're an American company. We hire people. Oh, no, well, I just contracted this guy and he brought his staff. That's how they bring in the illegals without saying, oh, no, we don't hire illegals. I hired a contractor. The contractor hired the illegals. Go get him. That's the narrative these fucking self-important shit stains use because they want to. Oh, no, I would never do that. That would be wrong. That would be illegal. I'm just trying to work with small businesses. I'm trying to support the little guy. No, you're knowingly paying through an intermediary so you can pay shit wages to fucking illegals because nobody with a modicum of common sense looks and goes, this guy's bringing in a crew of 35 people a week. I'm only paying him $10,000. Let's see, 10,000 divided by 30, divided by 40. Let's conservatively. Oh, I should have had my calculator open before I started throwing numbers out because this is going to drive me crazy and I don't want it to be wrong. So let's see, $10,000 a week divided by 30 guys divided by 40 people. It comes out to be about $8 an hour. So if you're paying a construction crew $8 an hour per guy, there is no way you can sit down and think in any way, shape, or form that you are actually paying them fair market wages for what they're doing. You know full goddamn well if your ROI of, hey, if I lay out $10,000 to this contractor as opposed to paying $70 an hour to actual union labor that is an American worker that's going to be paying taxes, paying for his insurance, paying for his fucking benefits, paying his SSI, paying for every other fucking fee and nominal piece of shit paperwork that goes to the government so they can piss it away on some third world fucking countries, sex reassignment surgery for gender confused fucking donkeys. Well, yeah, no. Nobody with any sense that can actually get themselves into a successful business position believes that shit. Nobody's going, oh no, I'm sure this guy's offsetting and paying him a fair wage. He's making up in volume what he's lacking in fucking actual income. These fucking self-important, smug shit stains who want you to believe that shit are the fucking problem. It's people that think they're not the bad guy because they want to see these poor pissed upon motherfuckers kind of achieve a life, I guess, maybe, because they can send that $6 an hour home and it's like $300 there because their money hasn't been inflated to nothing by a massive glut of undocumented workers that are not paying taxes, benefits, insurance, SSI, fucking any of the other bullshit that then subsequently use those programs by going into the hospitals, which are guaranteed to be paid if this person comes in and just skips out on the tab. So you have fucking undocumented aliens who don't have health insurance, so they're not going to a general practitioner, and they're not going to primary care, they're not going to, they walk into the hospital, they walk into the emergency room, they walk in for every fucking thing that goes wrong, and then they leave, and they don't pay the bill. And the bill gets submitted to the government because hospitals can't run if they're fucking constantly operating at a loss. So the money is guaranteed because otherwise they wouldn't be taking care of the people that need emergencies. Meanwhile, your average motherfucker who's an American citizen gets in there and doesn't actually get the care they need because they are deprioritized because the money is not guaranteed by the federal government, and the hospital actually has to go through the process of billing their insurance, billing the individual, getting their copays, getting their out-of-pocket expenses, taking the chance that an American citizen might not have the fucking money to pay the $3,000 you're charging for a fucking Tylenol. And, you know, it's a lot of work to get that money as opposed to just sending a check to the, or sending a bill to the government and getting a check for your fucking trouble. So they actually have more incentive to service the illegals, the people who are in there who don't speak fucking English. And, you know, you got these self-important leftist smug assholes who are out here saying, oh, well, if you start picking up people, if you start asking their status at the hospital, when they're hurt, they won't go. Fuck them. They made a choice. If you're an illegal and you're fucked up and you're going to die, go to the hospital, admit where you're from, get deported after they patch you up, and go the fuck home. Yeah, you know what, Josh, you're right. Anyone who's had their roof or deck replaced in the last 5 years is happily ignoring exactly that. Unless they're me, because I built my own fucking deck. Neener. Okay, no, I'm just kidding, actually. I guarantee the guys that did our roof, it was exactly that scenario. However, I don't own the property, and I'm not in any kind of position to lecture the fucking contractors that were hired to do the work. And since it's, you know, family-owned property, I will not be picking a family fight over the matter. And at the end of the day, it wasn't our call on who we used either. It was actually the insurance companies, because we got a hail damage on our roof, and the insurance company was like, yeah, you guys need a new roof. Here's the contractor. We're going to send them out. They're going to fix shit. We had nothing to do with the process except for telling them when to show up. So corporations also are guilty of this shit. And, you know, contrary to what the government says, corporations aren't people. You can't expect them to hold them to the standards that they are. So having morals, feelings, beliefs, or ideals necessarily not going to fall real well in line. The moral standards, feelings, and beliefs of most corporations are the bottom fucking line. And that's just the way the world works. Ironically enough, kind of ties in. I think my crease went away. Nope, now I got a different fucking crease. Oh well. You guys can look at that crease too. So yeah. Yeah, I was just having a similar conversation with some people at work because we were discussing bottom lines and ROIs and a lot of other, working people problems, talking about shit and bitching about how life's getting more expensive despite the fact that, it's not getting any fucking better. It's just getting more expensive. And, having old man yell at cloud moments with a couple of my coworkers. It was a nice day. And, yeah. Anyway, that was actually really the kind of the big thing I had is this, like I said, this whole we're the real patriots nonsense out of the left. I mean, yeah, they're trying to redefine patriot. They're trying to make the actual patriotic people who believe in the values of this country question that. I mean, I don't think it's going to work for a few reasons. Just my own 2 pennies on the matter, which is literally this entire fucking show, is my 2 pennies and a lot of ranty, which you guys seem to enjoy for whatever fucking reason. But my whole takeaway on this, and this again, it goes back to something I've been harping on more so on social media than on these episodes, but it does. I brought it up. You guys have heard me say it. It's like this entire the bulk of the fucking vocal retard minority on the left is, like I said, it's failed fucking theater kids. It's kids who peaked in 3rd grade when they got the fucking third tree on the left in their school's production of Anne of Green Gables or some shit. They've been waiting for this opportunity to put themselves in and insert themselves in, as in their minds now they're making a difference. They're changing the world. They're rewriting the script. They're important now. They matter. They're significant. They're going to change the world, and they're going to make it a better place where insignificant sacks of shit like themselves don't have to feel bad about being fucking pre-cum. They don't have to feel bad about the fact that they are made up from flawed genetic material. It's okay that they don't know what fucking naughty bits they're supposed to have or why they feel wrong in their body. It's acceptable that they can be these just fucking failed individuals, because at the end of the day, minus the like 1% of people that have like legitimate actual medical body dysmorphia that 100% feel like they were born in the wrong body, not because of some sort of social contagion, but because their fucking wires are actually fucking crossed in their fucking head. Something is on a genetic level is legitimately causing this mental issue. And the people who actually have the medical condition of having gender dysmorphia, that have had it diagnosed, that have taken steps to address it, will acknowledge that it's a mental condition. Not the ones who want to say, no, this is my truth, this is my reality, this is who I fucking am. Because those are the failed humans. The people who want you to validate them. The people who need your external praise and your external judgment, but at the same time are so fucking convinced that they can't be wrong. And they're beautiful and unique, and they're empowered, and they're wonderful, and these things are going to make them whole and they're going to fill in that empty void in their life that comes from being an undeveloped or underdeveloped piece of shit, because they have utterly failed to become a fully formed human being. And I'm not necessarily talking physically, because some of these motherfuckers are way too goddamn formed. And when you're, 23 years old, you got a BMI of fucking 97 because you're a gigantic fuckwaffle who's got your skeletal frame says you're a 6'3" fucking, stretched out behemoth. Or I know I said that backwards. Not your skeletal frame. Your fucking physical appearance says you're a 6'3" fucking behemoth, but you've actually got the skeleton of a petite 5'1" woman. But, all the rest of that is fucking fat because you're a worthless, lazy, ill-motivated, entitled sack of shit who doesn't want to get up off their ass and do any physical activity, because that's for, people that aren't as smart as you are, or people that aren't as creative as you are, or you're a thinker, not a doer. And there's a whole ass another set of problems there, because I can't remember who said it. The quote escapes me, but it basically says you don't want to have your thinkers and your doers separated, because then you'll be led by cowards and your wars will be fought by morons. And yep, that pretty much sums up the way I feel about a huge portion of this country. Hey, Lorenzo's in the chat. Feeling attacked? I'm not talking about you, buddy. I do not believe you have the frame of a petite 5'1" girl. I guarantee it. You might be a little more fluffy like myself, but I guarantee you're not a tiny woman trapped in a huge fat cunt body. So, and again, I'm not saying anything as to those of us who have gotten a little more advanced in years, gotten a little more sizey. I mean, shit happens. It gets really fucking hard to stay in shape the older you get. Look at the fucking Rock. He is slimmed down like a motherfucker, partly because I'm sure he's off the juice for his heart. But the other part of that is he's still not working out like he used to because he's fucking old. And after a certain point, fucking old catches up with you. I mean, unless you're Arnold. I mean, even he's gotten saggy in a lot of places. But Arnold I saw something of him the other day, and he's still smoking cigars and drinking schnapps with his pre-workout. So I mean, maybe there's something to be said for being a drunk piece of shit. And Mr. Screw Your Freedom can bite my bag. I still don't like the fucking guy. I'm just saying he's in pretty good shape for some old fuck. But at the end of the day, and Kate, don't feel attacked. We're out there putting in the work. We may not get the results we want, but we're making the fucking effort. So we're not like these scumfucks. The people I can't stand are the whiny motherfuckers. Anybody that's preaching body positivity. They're like, you're beautiful just the way you are. You're 23 and your fucking blood type is gravy. You're not fucking beautiful. And the idea that you should accept that and just be okay with it is a huge fucking problem. It's unhealthy. It's fucking morally, socially, mentally fucking unhealthy. across the board. It's weak. It's a lack of discipline, a lack of self-control, a lack of restraint. There's a t-shirt I was going to buy, but it didn't come in fat fuck because of where it was coming from. And unfortunately, the closest thing they had to fat fuck was a medium when I had the money to buy the shirt, so I didn't do it. But and it said motivation crossed out with a line through it, and then above that it said discipline, and I liked that. That made me happy. That's actually on robertfrank615.com if you want to go check it out. A lot of good shirts there. A lot of stuff I should encourage. It's actually like several of the shirts I've worn over different streams have come from that show, because I can fit into a 3XL now. Now, unfortunately, I need an XLT because I have a very long fucking torso, and B, when I wear a regular height shirt, the bottom of my belly hangs out, which is not a good look. I mean, it's a good thing from a like health standpoint because it means I've lost weight and the tummy's getting loose and starting to sag, but it looks fucking gross, so I can't wear regular t-shirts unless I wear an undershirt. Yeah, I'm sure you guys didn't want to fucking know that. Hey, George. Yeah, if only I knew a guy who could design a shirt for me that's not in the middle of doing a bunch of other shit, so he's not going to make me random ass shirts just for shits and gigs right now. Try and call me out, Kate. Besides, I wouldn't feel right stealing somebody else's shirt idea. You know, it's just not me. I'll come up with my own insane sayings. Which actually brings me to something else I've been meaning to ask. In the interest of I'm trying to get more merch made up for the fucking show. Just out of curiosity, is there anything you guys think I should slap on a shirt besides Smooth Brains? Because everybody seems to love that fucking phrase for some reason. Anything that I might have said over the course of, you know, your time listening to the show. If you're a new listener, go check out the back catalog. I've said some really stupid shit over the years. Yeah, to the new listeners out there who may occasionally come along, I would like to point out I've been doing the show for 5 years now. That's a lot of fucking episodes. So I've said some really inane shit over the years. I've said some funny stuff. I've said some stuff that stuck with people. I've said some stuff that people said, I can't believe that came out of your fucking mouth. So anyway, I'm looking for ideas of shit to slap on merch because I want Jason to make my merch page on Horrible Designs fucking huge. But I'm not going to make him do all the work. I'm just going to send him the pictures and say, dude, can you put some links up to this shit? And hopefully he'll be able to do it. Yeah, no, Fueled by Spite. Thank you, McShane. That is, I already dibbed that one. That's mine. Either that or I was thinking Fueled by Spite or Warmed by Hate, which is also accurate. I mean, that's why I had to take the hat off. It was getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. I'm not taking off all my clothes, just the hat. Oh, that it burns. It hurts. It's like my personality distilled into a cup. This is why you don't let your organic hippie ass wife make you a drink right before you're going to record. Oh, God, it sucks. Love you, babe. I know you're listening. That's why I said it. Let's see. Now I've completely derailed where I thought I was going, other than talking about the gaslighting retards on the left that are trying to co-opt patriotism as if it was their original concept. Meanwhile, they have also spent, the last 5 years mocking ruthlessly anybody who declared themselves a patriot. So now that the fact that they've kind of leaned into the whole, we're the real patriots, it just shows how ineffective these fucking morons are. And they're not going to be successful in co-opting the concept of patriotism from the people that have had that as the core of their fucking identity for, whether it be years or fucking generations, depending on what part of Appalachia you're fucking looking at. And I don't think they understand that. That's one of the biggest problems I see in terms of, and I'm not trying to give, fucking coaching tips on how these morons should be fucking being leftist retards to be more effective fucking leftists. But the problem is, and this impacts literally everything they do, from the fucking ineffectual protests, from the fucking social media cringe posts, right down to the fucking screaming and having breakdowns in their cars and crying for social media. Every last one of those posts, you can actually kind of tie it all back together. And I've never understood anybody who wants to cry publicly, especially posting it out, hoping for people to click on it. I'm like, oh my God, you're so right. Oh my God. Yeah, I hate the fat man too. I hate the orange man too. I hate this. I hate that. Oh my God, you're so right. The meltdown. I totally understand. I feel exactly the same. I'm also a failed human being. I also stopped developing in 3rd grade. I'm also emotionally and mentally stunted. So, I mean, it's a bunch of fucking retards that need external validation to function and to exist. And they're trying to co-opt ideals and beliefs and phrases from people who don't identify with that mentality, from people who don't give a shit. Because if you look at most of the actual patriotic Americans, most of the like hardcore motherfuckers that were like, yeah, I'm a patriot, fuck you, even when it wasn't a popular sentiment, the last thing those motherfuckers care about is external validation. And I'm not necessarily saying they're better people. I'm not saying they're more whole or right or healthy or sane or anything else. I'm saying there is a massive gulf in between these extremists on the left and every fucking buddy else who is at least a mostly developed and functional human being. Because if you have at least some sense of self, some sense of validity, some sense of identity that doesn't need constant external validation, that doesn't need your cohorts and your peers and your fucking social group telling you you're right for your bullshit. If it's an actual truth, if it's an actual stance you can understand and identify with and a core tenet of who you are, you don't need that thing. And people who don't have that will never understand that. So everything they do, every showboaty, cringy, drumline, dancing, ukulele song, every fucking thing, every time they get in their car and scream and riot and whine and bitch and moan and oh my God, it's so unfair. Why are you doing this to me? Why have you people done this to me? Why is everything so unfair to me? It's this narcissistic, flawed, fatal weakness in these fucking retards because they look at everything and the problem is since they view the entire world from this flawed, hollow stance, they can only assume, and this actually kind of goes both ways because it shows where there's a huge lack of understanding between the two sides, but so both sides are guilty of it, but it's much more impactful coming from the weak, underdeveloped leftist retards who want everything done for them, who want everything handed to them, who want all the answers, who want to be told what to do, what to think, how to feel, what to believe, who to like, who to hate. People who need that constant source of external guidance because they don't have the ability to do for themselves will never understand or function with those who can. And those who can not only don't understand, but they don't give a shit about the people who are lacking this. There's a marked lack of empathy that I feel kind of like goes hand in hand with the ability to stand on your own, with the ability to function without needing external validation. You lose a certain degree of empathy for the people who don't have that ability because it's fucking stupid. That's what it boils down to as far as I can tell. And in my unbalanced, inept way of looking at life, that's kind of the rub of things. You got all these whiny, narcissistic assholes who don't understand why everything bad happens to them, why the entire world is out to get them, why it's a fucking giant plot that the whole rest of the fucking world is out to personally ruin them because they think that the rest of the world cannot possibly conceive about how they feel, about how they think, about how it impacts them. And they're completely ignorant to the fact that that's exactly how they treat the rest of the fucking world in the same course. Because when you only focus on yourself, when you only worry about how things impact you, when your only concern is what this does to me, when you think you're the fucking main character despite all the evidence to the contrary, this is what you fucking get. Everything in the world is going to disappoint you because the vast majority of the world doesn't give a fuck about you. You have to give a fuck about yourself. You have to do things for yourself. Nobody's going to give you something just because you think you want it. And the problem is, well-developed, rational thinking human beings can understand that concept. You don't have to fucking like it. I don't like the fact that that's the way the fucking world works. I don't like the fact that when the world goes fucking wonky, everybody's first necessity has to be to take care of themselves. I like the idea that, we can, in theory, help each other out, lift each other up. And in a lot of ways, people will. There's always evidence of people that are out there giving more than they have to, doing things they don't have to help other people that are in a shit situation. But the people who are capable of doing that with their own resources, and that's the huge difference between the way I'm okay with it and the way I'm not okay with it. People who go out there and help people with their own resources have always made sure that their own affairs are settled first. I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to have my life in functional working order. I'm going to be a functional, decent human being. And then once my situation is settled, once my shit is taken care of, once the people I take care of are made whole and made good, then I can worry about the other motherfuckers. As opposed to the entitled retards who can't do for themselves, who won't do for themselves, and who have no problem whatsoever taking from everybody else to do for people like them. And because the empathy that comes out of the vast majority of these leftist retards who have no problem taxing from people that have it to give to people that don't is they don't have it fucking either. You don't see a lot of fucking, left-leaning individuals that are super ultra successful. I mean, now and then people will bring up, Bill and Melinda Gates and fucking, Bezos says he wants to do this and, altruism this and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, but is it really though? They're really not. And like, oh, well, Bill Gates is distributing shots to the Ghanans to make sure they don't get malaria. Bill Gates has publicly stated that the population of the human race needs to decline. That's not somebody you trust with decisions about access to your food or your medical health or any fucking thing else. He's not altruistic. He's manipulative and he's a piece of shit. And I guarantee you, he's not going to be subject to the shit he wants everybody else to deal with in order to whatever it is these morons think he's trying to do for the fucking planet. Oh, well, we need to reduce cow fart emissions so we can save the planet. No, you fucking retard. You want to do the planet a favor? Off your fucking self. Wow, I really strayed from the original plan for today. My 2 bullet point notes really didn't get me this far. So, anyway, that being said, it has now been an hour and 20 minutes minus the fucking intro and the fucking part where I had to restart the intro because it was wrong. Yes, and you're very right, McShane. All of those philanthropists are making more money than they're laying out. But anyway, so I think at this point I'm going to do what I usually do on these live streams and open up to the comments, give you guys a couple minutes. Is there anything particular you want to hear my thoughts on? Just to bring up one thing that I said earlier today, and I thought it was funny, so I'm going to share it with you guys because I do think it's funny. And there was a video of Trump getting into it's an AI-generated video about the No Kings protest of Trump getting into an F-15 and flying over a No Kings protest and dumping shit on the crowd. Now, the leftist retards on social media, including multiple government figures, are going out there saying Trump made that video and posted it. No, somebody else made it. Trump reposted it. That was his involvement in the process. He reposted the fucking video. In the video, the primary identifiable figure that got shit dumped on him looks just like Harry Sisson. It's probably supposed to be Harry Sisson. Very real possibility that AI, whoever made the video, pulled from Harry's fucking live stream of him marching at the No Kings rally to add in him getting covered in shit from the plane from Donald Trump. Trump did not go out and make this fucking video. Sisson's acting like it's a personal fucking attack. He's an irrelevant sack of shit. He's only lived in America for 5 years. He's trying to tell everybody that has lived here their entire lives how they should fucking think and what their values should be. He's a fucking cunt. Nobody should take him seriously. But, and he's definitely not important enough for direct attention from the president. The president saw something, thought it was funny, reposted it. And headline Harry, handjob Harry, whatever you want to fucking call this little faggoty motherfucker, he took to social media as, oh my God, the president posted a video of dumping poop on me. I need to address this. I need to go on Don Lemon and tell him how bad this hurt my little butthole. Didn't have shit to say when Joe's bony pelvis was bruising his fucking cheekbones, but he's pissed off that Trump posted a meme about him. And I had a thought earlier, and like I said, it made me laugh, so you guys are going to hear it now. And my thought was, what if it wasn't actually an intentional picture of Harry Sisson? What if somebody just typed into AI, big pile of shit dumps on most low testosterone douchebag looking sack of shit you can imagine, and it just happened to come out looking exactly like him? I mean, you know, I think that's just as likely as the fact that the president would have gone out and personally decided to make a video of him getting shit on because he's such a fucking threat. Oh my God, a 24-year-old influencer from TikTok that was fucking literally built up by the Democratic Party to try and be a voice of a generation to reach the youngs, but the Democratic Party understands the youngs just about as well as any other 70 fucking year old does, and he is a product of being groomed by a bunch of fucking geriatrics. I hate that shit stain. I hope bad things happen to him. I hope somebody puts it in his ear that I said bad things happen to him, because Lord knows I could use the attention from his little followers trying to swarm me. Which is kind of funny because, you know, to go off on another tangent, every once in a while I will, you know, I talk to my kid a lot. My kid listens to the show. I forget that a lot, you know, that he does, but occasionally he'll tell me that after an episode or whatever, he listens to it on his way to work or sometimes in the shop. But, you know, I was talking to my kid about something else, semi-related to the show. His concern ties into the show more because he's a young and he thinks like youngs do, and you know he's seen things that have happened with social media people over the years, and you know we were talking about, you know, some firearms stuff, and basically, you know, his whole concern is like at some point, and this goes back to when I first started the show. One of his friends said to me, he's like, "Dude, you're gonna get canceled." Well, my kid's concern that he brought up, and again, it only slightly ties into the show, but I mean, the show is how it would happen or become a relevant issue. And he was talking about, you know, people get swatted just while they're live streaming just because people don't like them. You know, you got to be careful what you say sometimes. And I'm like, I appreciate the concern. I appreciate the fact that my kid is, you know, cautious about how he goes through life. I mean, I'm very proud of the young man he's become. He's a hell of a dude, and you know, I say those things when I don't remember that he listens to the show. The fact that I'm saying it now is not like I'm trying to kiss his ass or anything. That's a statement of fucking fact. At the end of the day, I'm proud of who he is. I'm proud of how he lives his life. I'm proud of what he does. He's a hard worker. He's an amazing person. I'm proud of him. He could be a little nicer to his mom. But I can't be too judgy about that because I was kind of a shithead to my mom for years too. I still kind of am, if I'm being completely honest. I don't call her nearly enough. But yeah, so the idea that, you know, his concern when I tell him something that I know is, you know, going to get certain noses out of joint, and I float it by him, and he's like, "Dude, you're going to get fucking swatted." And I'm like, well, I don't really see that as being a problem. I don't think our little fucking hick town even has a SWAT team. I could be wrong. They could have added one, but I mean, there was a time when I knew all the cops in town here. I don't really know them anymore because, you know, the guys I did know are either retired or fucking dead, I think. I mean, when I first moved here was 20 years ago, and there was like, you know, not a lot of young cops on the force back then. There's a lot of young motherfuckers now. At least they look young to me. I mean, they may be in their 30s. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's definitely not the same officers that were here when I moved here. It wasn't the guys that were, you know, questioning me the first time I came to town. But so maybe we do have a SWAT team. But at the end of the day, I'm not real worried about it. I mean, first off, I don't have that kind of fucking reach. I'm not important enough to worry about getting swatted. Nobody's going to fucking send the cops in here to bust in the door while I'm doing these live streams. You know, the 7 fucking people that watch them, which is all of you guys right now. Love you. Hey, glad you're here. And the 2 or 3 fucking random ass replays, because I think YouTube occasionally sticks me in people's, you know, suggested reels or suggested feeds. But not real often, from what I can tell, because the numbers really haven't gone up. I haven't got, other than that first day where I dropped like all 300 fucking episodes that didn't get posted for reasons, which was funny because I did get a few trolly comments on those because people are just like, dude, this is ass, you suck, blah, blah, blah. Don't care, don't hurt my feelings, don't get bent out of shape over the opinions of people I don't respect, so say whatever the fuck you want. I really don't care. You know, there were a couple constructive comments like, dude, you need to fix your audio, blah, 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 blah. And that was, you know, on old episodes from years ago when I was sitting here with a fucking Chromebook and a USB mic trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing. I've gotten much better over the years. Actually, I should say that depends on who you ask. But the equipment at least has gotten better. I don't know if the show's gotten any fucking better. It may have actually gotten worse as I've gone on, but the equipment's better. I mean, I got a fancy couple $100 mic, and I got a fancy ass Rodecaster that, once again, huge shout out to Russ and Lauren for sending it to me. You guys are fucking amazing. I'd probably still be bitching about not having one if you guys hadn't, hooked the brother up. So thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't worry about getting swatted. I don't worry that the cops are going to show up. And if they do fucking show up, so fucking what? I'm not going to get shot on live TV because I'm not, well, who knows? Actually, I might get shot on stream if they decided to swat me because, I've said it before. If you've never heard of the song Keysby Nights by Catch 22 or Streetlight Manifesto, either or, you could go listen to the song. It tells you kind of how I feel about life. I wanted to use it actually as the intro music for the show when I started the show, but I couldn't. There's, some issues with the licensing and shit, and I frankly don't have the fucking money to pour into my hobby that would offset what I needed to get the rights to that fucking song. And I didn't want to have to be getting, YouTube strikes or any of that other stuff. I mean, I could do it on Spotify technically, since Spotify's my host, so I can use their record. But you can only hear the music then if you were listening on Spotify. And I don't want to hamstring people like that. I mean, the 4 downloads I get on Apple Podcasts, I'd hate to lose those. It's there's a line in the song, and McShane, I big shout out McShane from Whiskey Hell, or I'm sorry, Razor Wire now. It's the new name, rebranded. It's a great song. I gotta say, dude's got great musical taste. I just have to say, my own little shout out to my friend. We seem to have pretty similar taste, actually. So it is a good song. But there's a line that's the refrain of the song. Actually says, "When they come for me, I'll be sitting at my desk with a gun in my hand and a bulletproof vest." Now, I don't have a vest because I'm poor, and I'm really pissed off because I missed a great sale last month where level 3 plates and a carrier were like 2 sets of plates and 2 carriers for $995, which I just don't have $1,000. I wish I did. I would love to buy some plates and a plate carrier. There's some low profile level 3 plates I was looking at. I'd actually prefer level 4 plates, just as long as we're talking gun shit for a minute here. I would prefer level 4 plates because those will stop rifle rounds better. But I'd be willing to accept level 3 plates, and like I said, they were on sale. And they were slim ones, so you could actually wear them under your clothes without printing too badly. And I feel like, yes, when they come for me, I'll be sitting at my desk, gun in my hand, bulletproof vest. I don't have a vest, but I'm halfway fucking there if you follow my meaning. And since I am now streaming and these are going up on YouTube, I'm not going to, flail my piece around. But, it's literally right fucking here. And it's only right there because in this particular desk chair, it's uncomfortable to leave it on my hip while I'm recording. It presses up against the armrest and digs into my side, and I don't like that, so I take it off while I'm sitting at my desk because, again, you burst the door open, there's a really good chance you're going to get a couple strays. So, I mean, that's why my wife always knocks before she comes in. Love you, babe. Anyway, so, now that I've completely derailed everything else, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to go off ranty about, but, no, I mean, that's really all I got. I'll open the floor to questions if anyone has anything. And as usual, I'll give it a couple seconds to cover for the lag. And I'm going to just keep babbling since dead air sucks. And anyway, like I said, if you got any merch ideas, if you got anything you think would be cool, if you come up with something after the fact, I mean, we got a couple people make comments in the chat here. If you listen to this episode and you hear and you can think of something that I've said at some point that you think would be a phenomenal shirt or a phenomenal coffee mug or a sticker, just hit me up. Reach out to me on any of the socials. I Had to Say It Pod on every fucking social media platform, or you can go to IHadToSayItPodcast.com. There's a fucking form you can fill out if you don't want to send an email. There's IHadToSayItPodcast@gmail.com is the email address that will, like I said, reach out to me, talk to me, join the Discord server. It's I Had to Say It. I mean, come and chat, interact with the group, join the fun, get some activity going on the fucking Discord server. I mean, it's been getting a little better, but it's still pretty quiet on there, other than all my cohorts posting links to their upcoming episodes and shit like that. And Bruce's daily reminder that there will be an X space in the morning that sometimes I make it to, sometimes I don't. Um, yeah, all right. Well, I think I'm going to put a pin in it there, guys, and say, for now, that's what I had to say.